You see, Musa alayhi salam didn't move from the point. And he showed the lack of rationale in Fir'aun's line of thinking, which is already an insult to the intellect of Fir'aun in front of the entire audience. Who is the audience? The high caliber ministers of Fir'aun. They're the ones in the palace, right? The loyalists. And in front of all of them, oh, you know, that's what happens to Fir'aun. Now look, Qala Fir'aun. Fir'aun is now stumped. He doesn't have any choice but to address the subject at hand. So what does he say? وَمَا رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. What Lord of the worlds are you talking about? He didn't even say, وَمَنْ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Who's the Lord of the worlds? He didn't say who, he said what. You know, when you say what, you're saying it doesn't even exist. When you say who, then you're trying to figure out who it is. But when you say what, you're trying to say, it's just a fathom of your, it's just a figure of your imagination. What are you talking about? What Lord of the worlds? And he thought by insulting Musa alayhi salam like that, what Lord of the worlds? Like that. What's he going to say now? Musa alayhi salam takes that opportunity and stabs him right where it hurts. Look, Qala, Musa alayhi salam said, Rabbus samawati wal ard. The Lord of the heavens and the earth. By the way, the pharaohs used to worship the sun. Which is where? In the sky. He's the Lord, and he claims that the sun is the Lord. That's what they claimed. So Musa tells him, by the way, he's not just your Lord, by the way. He's Lord of what? The heavens. And you're the king on the earth. He's the Lord of the earth too. Rabbus samawati wal ard. Wama baynahuma, and everything in between. Subhanallah. Rabbus samawati wal ard. Wama baynahuma in kuntum muqinin. He didn't say in kunta muqinan. He didn't say if you are seeking conviction. You know what he did? He said, you're useless. I don't even want to talk to you. I've already beat you. I'm going to talk to the rest of your crew here. So he says, the Lord of the heavens and the earth and everything in between, if all of you are seeking to be convinced. He turned away from Musa, from Fir'aun. He turned to them. Kuntum is plural. He turned to them. Again, another slap on Fir'aun's face, because now Musa is like, I don't have to talk to you. You're worth it. You're not worth it. In kuntum muqinin. Now look. Qala liman hawlahu. Fir'aun now listens, all of these people around him are being stunned by Musa alayhi salam. Fir'aun's getting nervous. So what does he say? He says to those who were around him, قَالَ لِمَنْ حَوْلَهُ أَلَا تَسْتَمِعُونَ. Are you not listening carefully enough to what he's saying? Do you realize what he's saying? Meaning he's saying, listening to him is an insult to me. You are being disloyal to the kingship. Do you realize that? So he's trying to alert his people to stay under his rank by scaring them first. The first tactic was fear. أَلَا تَسْتَمِعُونَ. Musa alayhi salam says, well, he's getting nervous, might as well take an advantage of this opportunity some more. قَالَ رَبُّكُمْ وَرَبُّ آبَائِكُمْ الْأَوَّلِينَ. Not just your Lord, all of you, but the Lord of your ancient forefathers who you believe were gods too. He's their Lord too. He's not talking to Fir'aun right now, he's talking to the audience. رَبُّكُمْ وَرَبُّ آبَائِكُمُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. First he was the Lord of the heavens and the earth and everything in between. Now he brings it home, even your Lord. Not just the skies and the earth, your Lord too. And the Lord of your forefathers. Now they're really like, they can't stop but listen to Musa alayhi salam. They're stunned by him. So what does Fir'aun do? Now he's getting desperate. By the way, when I started this dialogue, Fir'aun was up here and Musa was down here. Have you noticed the shift? Fir'aun is getting nervous. The people are listening to Musa alayhi salam. There's a shift in the balance of dialogue power. This dialogue is changing momentum. And now look, Fir'aun gets frustrated. He says, قَالَ إِنَّ رَسُولَكُمْ الَّذِي أُرْسِلَ إِلَيْكُمْ لَمَجْنُونَ. He said, this messenger of yours, by the way, he didn't say the messenger, he said this messenger of yours. Meaning, it illustrates that the people were actually listening carefully, so much so that Fir'aun had to say, your messenger. He didn't just say this man, he said, Rasulakum, your messenger. You're listening to him like he's your messenger. By the way, this messenger that has been sent to you, Ursila ilaykum, was he sent to them or to Fir'aun first? He was sent to Fir'aun. But Fir'aun doesn't want to accept that. So he directs it, he was sent to you guys. La Majnoon, he's insane. He's crazy. Now watch this carefully. The first attack on the personality of Musa was loyalty. We raised you as a boy. The second attack was the crime, right? His track record. The third attack is his sanity. He's insane. لَمَجْنُونَ. Now watch. قَالَ رَبُّ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. Musa alayhi salam doesn't stop. He doesn't have to respond, no, I'm not crazy. He says, I'm going to stay on point and let him stumble. Let him trip over himself. Musa alayhi salam says, the Lord of the East and the West. And then he says, وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا, whatever's in between the East and the West. If all of you are really thinking about it, if you are seeking to apply your intellects, then what I'm telling you is very convincing. Now he is upset because the people have shifted their attention from Fir'aun to who? To Musa. And this is his cabinet. This is his administration. So he is so upset, he says, قَالَ, he says to Musa alayhi salam, لَإِنِ اتَّخَذْتَ إِلَهًا غَيْرِي, if you dare take anyone worthy of worship except me, لَأَجْعَلَنَّكَ مِنَ الْمَسْجُونِينَ, there's no doubt about it, I will make you from those who have been imprisoned. Meaning, people have already been imprisoned for showing disloyalty, and I will consider this an act of treason, and I will put you in prison. When do you threaten someone? When you can't beat them in argument, then you try to overpower them with your muscle. So the fact that he threatened Musa alayhi salam with prison was in and of itself a proof that he has lost the debate. That was already a proof that he's lost. Because if he hadn't lost, he would have more arguments. This is not an argument, this is just a threat. No answer. He's got no answer, he's been stumped already. Now Musa alayhi salam responds, قَالَ أَوَلَوْ جِئْتُكَ بِشَيْءٍ مُبِينٍ. Okay, I'll be in prison even if I bring you a clear proof for what I'm talking about. Let's stay on the ideas. Instead of turning to your threats, you want to deal with this matter? Let's get it over with. Maybe I don't have anything to show you. Even if I bring you something clear, a clarifying evidence. Now Fir'aun is, everybody's like, what's he going to do? Musa alayhi salam challenged him. He's going to back down from the challenge? Then obviously who won? Musa. And everybody will be talking afterwards, oh my God, Fir'aun really got it today. I can't let that happen, Fir'aun says. I got to take him on. I don't have a choice. He's been backed into a corner. So he says, fine. قَالَ فَأْتِ بِهَا. Go ahead, bring it if you're from the truthful. He's nervous now. And now Musa alayhi salam brings what? His asa, his staff. It turns into a snake. He takes his hand out and it's white. And as he's watching that, now you're thinking of what can I do to make people not look at that. The words were amazing enough and now they see this. What's the best way to stop this from going on? What did he say? He says, قَالَ لِلْمَلَئِ حَوْلَهُ. But before it was لِمَنْ حَوْلَهُ, by the way. He spoke to whoever was around him. Now it says he spoke to the chiefs around him. Because what must he have noticed? The chiefs were impressed. And if the chiefs are impressed, there can be a coup. You know that, right? When the generals are turning, then there can be a change. So you got to keep your generals close. So he says, وَقَالَ لِلْمَلَئِ حَوْلَهُ إِنَّ هَذَا لَسَاحِرٌ عَلِيمٌ. This is a knowledgeable magician. How can he be crazy and a knowledgeable magician at the same time? Either you're a PhD in physics or you are in the psych ward. You can't be both. In the same dialogue, he started first by saying what? He's crazy. Then that didn't work. Let's come up with something new. And what's the new one? He's a very good magician. SubhanAllah. He actually disproved his own self. The people around him are very smart. They know that he's already changed the story a few times. Which means he's desperate to find something to defeat what he sees that cannot be defeated. It can't be defeated, so he's desperate to come up with new stuff. يُرِيدُ أَن يُخْرِجَكُم, and this is where we'll end inshallah. يُرِيدُ أَن يُخْرِجَكُم مِّنْ أَرْضِكُمْ بِسِحْرِهِ. He intends to get you out of your land by means of his magic. He is a threat to national security. If you listen to him, you will all be deported. What did he just use? First he tried to intimidate Musa alayhi salam. First he tried to insult him, then to intimidate him, then to accuse him, then to character assassinate him by calling him insane. Then, when none of that worked, I can't scare him anymore. Well, who should I scare now? The people. If I can't scare him, let me scare them into believing that if they follow him, what's going to happen? They'll all be kicked out of their land. Did he say anything about leaving the land? Or kicking people out of their land? He wants to leave the land with who? With Bani Israel. He said no such thing. But you know, as a political leader, the smart thing is to rally people on your cause, whether it's right or not. The best glue that will bring people together is fear against an enemy. That's the best glue. So if Fir'aun realizes that's the only thing I got left, so the only attack this time is actually not an attack on Musa directly alayhi salam, but it's actually a means to unify his people, to bring them, rally the troops again. يُرِيدُ أَن يُخْرِجَكُم مِّنْ أَرْضِكُم بِسِحْرِهِ. He wants to get you out of your land by his magic. And by the way, who commands in Egypt? Who had the command? Fir'aun. Look at this ayah. فَمَاذَا تَأْمُرُونَ. What do you guys say? Whose opinion did he ask? The people's. Because he saw that the people are not listening to him. So he wanted to make the people feel included in the process, so he could keep them loyal. He was losing the loyalty. Because normally what would Fir'aun say? Who has commanded? Whose opinion is this? Mine, my way or no way. But now he's forced to say, فَمَاذَا تَأْمُرُونَ. What do you guys think? He's been humbled. He's been overpowered just by the words that were given to Musa alayhi salam. Just by that. Dialogue is one of the most powerful means of communicating messages in the Quran. It's not just this one said this one said that. Every piece of the dialogue, as I tried to illustrate to you, has powerful implications that are very difficult to communicate in paragraphs. I have to stop at every line and give you 6, 7, 8 lines, 2, 3 minutes. But the way it's captured so eloquently, woven together, it's incredible. It really is. So the point that I want to drive home, inshallah, and I'm done, bi'idhnillah, jazakumullahu khairan for your attention, is as follows. The Quran is remarkable, stunning, mesmerizing literature. You have never read anything in your life that will come close to having the impact, not just from the religious point of view, but even from the psychological point of view. You will not be affected by anything that you will ever listen to or read like you will be by the Quran. The tragedy of our times is that we have reduced the Quran to translation and reduced the Quran to certain isolated quotations, by virtue of which we actually don't get to see the power in which it is communicating its message. And this is a big problem. By the way, the scholars of the Arabs don't have this problem. They see it. They see the beauty. This is a problem mostly for the majority of the people of this ummah who are suffering from iman deficit to begin with. And if they saw this miracle and they saw that mesmerizing power of the Quran, at least heard about it on a regular basis, we would necessarily see a change in attitudes. A change in the regard, the awe, the inspiration we take from this Quran. It would be a different relationship. The dynamics of that relationship would change.